the spirit of disclosing private conversations, did you tell House Republicans on a January 11th phone call that President Trump told you he agreed that he bore some responsibility for January 6th, as Chairman Thompson's letter indicates?
I'm not sure what call you're talking about, so off the top of my head. Yes, sir. How's CNN doing?
We're doing
You guys
okay.
okay?
Yes. You battled the creation of an outside commission from the start. You also opposed a select committee.
Well, that's
You said-
not true.
Well, you also said.
Go ahead, ask your question.
Can I-
I'll
okay.
verify it's true.
I appreciate that. But you said, sure, you'd be willing to testify about your conversations with
What was
Donald
the date of
Trump.
that?
That was in May of last year.
Okay.
And you're now saying you won't agree to voluntarily cooperate. So why should the public now conclude that you're trying to hide something here and hide the facts from getting out?
Great question. I hope everything gets corrected at CNN. I work through all that with your employees. After January 6th, you can state this, who was the first person to offer a bipartisan commission to look at that day? Was it me? I'll help you. The answer is yes. Nancy Pelosi waited 4 months. In that time period, as we came here and discussed many times, you were here, you would ask me questions. My fear began to erode that she'd play politics with this. You watched it unfold and unfold, how she would prepare that who could have a subpoena power, who can have the scope, continuing to fight it all along the way that we now found she just played politics while the Senate had 2 committees, bipartisan look at what happened on January 6th. The FBI was doing their own investigation. And you all know the role of Congress, the only role we have is legislative. You asked me that question in May. That was 2 months before Nancy Pelosi decided for the first time in history by any speaker to deny the minority to even put their individuals on a committee. So when you asked me that question, never did I think a speaker would play such politics and then appoint a chairman who starts the committee by saying the only person out of bounds is the speaker. And now that we find, even when we ask to preserve that information with the Sergeant of Arms, that they will not provide it. Maybe if Nancy Pelosi had done what other speakers would do and not play politics with it, there could have been a different answer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Defy a subpoena?
Go ahead, sir.
You have a unique window into the president on that day, January 6th. You were one of the only few people who spoke to him that day. Doesn't the American public have a right to know what the president of the United States was thinking and doing while the U.S. Capitol was under attack?
You know, that's a great question. You know the great thing about that? I didn't wait a year later. On January 6th, I spoke to the American public. Not by one network, but by many networks. My conversation was very short, advising the president of what was happening here. There is nothing that I can provide the January 6th committee for legislation of them moving forward. There is nothing in that realm. It is pure politics of what they're playing. Yes, sir.